Right then, this is a quick walk around video for an absolutely beautiful Lexus, an IS300 hybrid, and it's the F Sport model, finished in white, which always looks lovely on these cars. 71,000 miles, full Lexus history on the car, and in really lovely condition. 10-year-old car, but it's been kept really nicely. Go around the car for you. The front of the car's nice and clean, lights and lenses are clear and intact. There's no cracks or condensation in them. There is the one mark on this car which I've made quite clear in the advert. It's on the bonnet. I'll show you it in a second. Currently at this moment in time, this car is just about £2,000 less than its true retail value. So if anyone wants to tend to this, then they feel free to do so, but we won't at the price advertised quite clearly. So just showing you on there, something just called, it just needs touching in really, or a blend done on there. It's hard to do it with my hand, but my finger is there. It just runs up on there. Sorry, it's a little bit weird looking in there. I just parked it in the shade to do this. So come back down to the near side of the car, lovely and smooth in the panels, no car park dents or dinks I can see. Alloys look in fabulous condition, really look lovely on the car. Rear alloy again, absolutely beautiful. Around the back, and there's an odd tiny light mark that, I mean, I'm talking stuff that will just polish off with a bit of elbow grease, but next to nothing. It's absolutely beautiful. Offside again, really lovely. Offside rear alloy in absolutely fantastic condition. Main panels, absolutely lovely. So in all honesty, apart from what I can see, one blemish on the bonnet, which could easily be attended to, there's next to nothing on it. Let's go into the boot area. Really good sized boots, and as you'd expect of a Lexus, beautifully finished. Let's come to the back now. Lots of legroom in the car, half leather interior, which again has been kept absolutely superbly. Sorry, not flying, there's one more door, sorry. Passenger side front, lovely and clean. Passenger seat again, in absolutely super condition. Let's finally come to the front now. Driver's door card, lovely and clean. Footwell areas likewise, full set of original Lexus mats in the car, but really nice. Right, so inside the car now, engine's running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. What an absolutely stunning interior this is. You can see sat nav working exactly as it should. Pop the car into reverse, and got the rear parking camera again working exactly as intended. It is simply stunning. Come to the dash binnacle. You can see there's 71,725 miles. This is, you can configure the dash slightly in different ways, but in eco and normal mode it's been set up to have this display, and then twisted to the right into sport mode, and then you get the rev counter sort of red hue to the dash. But it is absolutely glorious in here. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus IS300 hybrid, and it's the F Sport model. Car's registered BT13UFM, and with a mileage of 71,725 recorded. The reason for all of our videos, and especially this road test section, as I always say, is to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of our cars, they get to see the very car advertised actually in operation. The reason we feel it's important is, unfortunately, like loads of people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or description, but only to get there and find out when you drive it, it's got an obvious fault that shows up. So that's the sole purpose of this part. I'm actually going in the opposite direction to I normally go, by the way, just because it's a lovely sunny day, but wet roads and sun, lots of glare, so I'll try and get the sun behind me. So coming to the car, as you'll know from the advert, it's been beautifully looked after. All of the servicing done by the Lexus main dealers, and very recently as well, and it's immediately obvious when you drive the car. It's absolutely as tight as a drum. But go through all the things I always do. Start the engine, press the power button, whirs into life, generally silently. These are what are now referred to as self-charging hybrids. Basically, in essence, you will buy, drive, run and own the car like a normal petrol car. So you'll get low on fuel, you'll top it up with fuel, you go for another few hundred miles and top up again, stand at the pump for 2 minutes. No plugging in, no charging, no range anxiety, nothing like that at all. With a hybrid battery in the car, which is relatively small, it's nothing like a full electric car. It will whir along on electric only for a couple of miles or so if necessary, but that's not what it's there for. It's there to sort of give you extra urge, extra economy, and it does a brilliant job. But when I hit the brake pedal, it regenerates and puts power back into the battery, so it just tops it up, depletes it, it does it as it wants to. It's brilliant. The whole interaction between engine, gearbox, hybrid system is unbelievably smooth. It's all but seamless in the way the car operates. It's so quiet, so smooth, so satisfying. But when you put your foot down, it responds keenly, but wonderfully quietly. You can, by the way, operate the car in 3 modes. You've got a little button down here, a knob. Twist it to the left, I'm in eco mode, so obviously it feels slightly duller on the throttle response. It's encouraging more battery use, regeneration, that kind of thing. Push button down, I go back into normal mode, which is obviously a halfway house between the two extremes, and then twist it to the right and I go into sport mode. And instantly you can feel it's much keener to pick up on the throttle. Lovely setting, I have to say, and what you lose in economy is negligible. It's a fantastic power unit. The whole thing, the interaction, as I said, is the stuff of witchcraft in my opinion. It's incredible how they do it, and the reliability is in a different league to its competitors' cars. Turbo diesels of this era, ironically far more complicated but a lot more troublesome. These are beautifully engineered. There are no warning lights, by the way, on the dashboard at all related to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge running at just under a half, which is exactly where it's meant to be. Engine then feeds through into the gearbox, CVT gearbox, which is the perfect match for this car. And this is where I find some road testers, I just get so frustrated. They don't understand that the vast majority of people are going to drive as I am now, quite sensibly. I'm going to put my foot down, I'm going to accelerate, I'm going to speed up, but at low speed in particular, where it tends to be in battery mode, the transition from putting your foot on the throttle or backing off is so smooth. It's like an electric car, it's almost silent. Everyone that drives on these is bowled over by how incredibly easy and relaxing they are to manoeuvre around. But when you're on the open road, you put your foot down and go, it picks up, it goes, but because it's CVT, there is no gear change. The whole sensation is, again, completely seamless. So when you're driving along, you're just rewarded. When the engine does make a noise, it's smooth and refined. What you get the occasional, honestly, it beggars belief, when you read some reports, they talk about CVTs, about if you shove your foot down, the revs go up and then the car kind of catches up and it drones for, well, yes it does momentarily. So I put my foot down now, engine picks up, but by the time I've come to the corner, I've had to back off the throttle anyway. If you drive like a hooligan, you can get it to do it. But it's part of the design. But for 99.9% of the time, it is infinitely smoother, better than any of its conventional gearbox competitors, and miles more reliable than any of them. It's a wonderful companion to the car. I can understand their arguments in much smaller engines where the engine's got to work much harder. In these, it doesn't. So you don't get that flare. Maybe on the motor if you really shove your foot down, but it lasts a second. But it's designed to do that. That's the whole purpose of it. It's so much more efficient. Coming to the steering and chassis, simply amazing. Rear-wheel drive, of course, so the steering's unpolluted by drive shafts tugging at it. What I've always said about the IS300, it strikes the perfect middle ground between cars like, let's say, a BMW 3 Series, which is a great car, or I'm not deriding them at all in any way, but they ride much more firmly than this. And if you're not in the mood, they can be a bit jarring, especially the sportier versions. Or you go to something like a Mercedes or an Audi, they feel very soft and wallowy and, you know, disconnected in lots of ways. This doesn't. It flows through corners absolutely beautifully. Almost flat in its cornering stance. You turn in, the steering's got lovely weighting to it. It's absolutely pinpoint accurate, and it's your friend because it never feels nervous. You never feel as though the car's getting floaty or getting away from you in any way. But it rewards spirited driving, you know, socially acceptable driving, of course, but it does reward driving. But the whole thing is unflappable. Yet it still possesses a very good ride quality. They've judged it perfectly. So you can drive the car if you're not in the mood and not feel jarred by it. Whereas, you know, say some of its competitors can feel a bit crashy. Incidentally, no rattles or clonks from underneath the car. It's absolutely rock solid in that sense. And steering tracks absolutely bullet straight. So and no vibrations at all. You know, the speed of any speed up to the legal limit. Brakes are fantastic on the car, really strong, powerful brakes. There's absolutely no pulsing, no vibrations coming back to the brake pedal at all. It's all in fine order. And then we come inside. The first thing you note straight away is 10 years old, no squeaks, no rattles, beautifully put together cars. Really nice quality of trim, dash layout, you know, is quite unique, which I love, but it works. It's not just for show. You get into most of its competitors and they'll all feel pretty much the same. You squint your eyes and it could be in any of them, in all honesty. But you get in this and it does feel very special. First and foremost, you've got a perfect driving position, really comfortable yet supportive seats. But the dash layout itself is fantastic because it's the detailing, it's the backlighting, it's the switchgear, the labelling, it all comes together to give you something that you do feel a little bit special inside. Everyone that gets in them, passengers or people looking to buy, always comment on how nice it is. They're quite taken aback by it. Sat nav, as you can see, working perfectly. Dual zone climate control system with these lovely little sliders to change your temperatures. That pumps out ice cold air, by the way, because we checked it in a nice warm workshop. All of the switchgear, of course, has that wonderful quality of actuation that the Japanese give. Very high quality. Heated seats, again, working exactly as intended as well. And then you've got this dash binnacle in front, which is really minimalist, which I love. You know, you just look at it, you've got the information, but again, it's different, but it works brilliantly well. It does have the most satisfying noise, because if I press a button here, I can sort of push the rev counter across to the right, and it goes, and it sounds like if you're my era and you watch the old William Shatner Star Trek, the doors opening and shutting on the Enterprise, it sounds exactly the same, and it is just so that's so satisfying. It's unbelievable. If you come and see the car or you go and see one, press that button and hopefully you'll feel the same way. I can't fault this car. It drives absolutely beautifully. As always, you've got any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call.